Hi everybody, this is Sandra, Angelo, and Peanut Butter broadcasting live from Sandyland. Super excited to be with you tonight again, and I've decided that I'm going to be broadcasting at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every evening between now and January 11th. So set your calendars and see if you can set your schedule so that you can be here with us, because when you're here live, you get to have your questions answered. And hang on a second, we got a problem with Peanut Butter. Peanut Butter? Okay. He responds to the spray gun. He doesn't seem to understand words as much as the spray gun. So anyway, I'm super excited to be with you. Hi, Alina and Eleni. Hi there. I hope I'm saying your name right. I know a bunch of others will be joining us very soon, so I'm super excited about that. So tonight, I'm going to be actually talking about something that is really important in your success in drawing. And this is probably going to surprise you, because you probably think I should be talking about which pencils to use and which papers to use, which we will be doing. But I'm just going to dismiss that. I also feel that it's really important to give you an idea of how to set up a studio in such a way that it becomes a space for success. And so my studio is actually designed in a very deliberate way. Even the paintings on the wall and L-N-E. It's hard to pronounce. Yeah, it is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it, but maybe we'll can do that phonetically. Hi, Marianne. So anyway, a surprising thing is that the way you organize your studio can really affect your artwork. And that includes the paintings on the walls and the little, tchotchkes that you decorate with and the signs that you put around you. Hi, Christy. Glad to see you from Louisville, Kentucky. My cousin Christy has moved to Louisville. She used to live out here. And so tonight we're going to talk about how to organize your space. And I'm actually going to give you a complete tour of my studio, not just the drawing supplies. I'm going to show you the drawing supplies and that you would need to be successful if you're drawing with graphite pencils. This isn't about color pencils, this is about graphite pencils. And so I'm showing you the drawing supplies, yes, and we actually have a website where you can click and you can go there and find all the drawing supplies that we recommend. And it has links to sale prices where you can buy those supplies, and I'll talk about that a little later. But I'm also going to give you a tour of my studio, because you need to see how to organize your world and make it very personal. Because we're each different in the kinds of things that we like, and the kind of things that make us laugh and make us smile and make us peaceful and make us happy. But one of the most important things is to be organized. And so when you're organized and you know where things are, then when you're needing something, you go straight there instead of spending the day trying to track down that pencil or that paper or that tablet or your photo reference or whatever. And so it's really important to learn how to be organized. So in future demos in your free lessons, I will be talking more about, how to do fur and eyes and things like that. But today we're going to focus on how do you set up a studio for success. Because there's a lot of art studios out there where they aren't successful. And it's not a coincidence, I think, personally, that they don't do things deliberately, and they don't understand the importance of having a clear head so that your space is clear and you're ready to get going. I'm not saying you don't make a mess while you're drawing. You do. I make a mess. But I have everything in a certain space, and it's because of a special reason that it's in that space. And then I'm always collecting new ways to organize my space. And then I'm always collecting things that inspire me and get me excited and keep me motivated and keep me from getting discouraged. I just got a really big blow today, and it was really hard to take. And I surround myself with positive things and positive thinking and knowing that things are going to be okay, everything's going to work out, and it really helps to have that kind of stuff in your world. And so it's really important for you to deliberately and purposely and intentionally create your space. Yesterday we talked about intentionally creating the life you want to live, which is setting the goals. And then now today we're talking about intentionally creating the space where you're going to succeed. And it really matters. I mean, it does. It matters to me what I wear. I mean, I love wearing bright colors. It cheers me up and makes me, I cheer other people up when I walk in the room because they look at my colors. Even in winter, they're all wearing gray and I'm wearing bright because I like to live in a bright world. I wear a French beret with a rose on the front, and you know, that's part of my persona. It's what I want to be and who I am, and those are the costumes that work for my personality. You know, everybody's personality is a little different, and so I want to show you kind of what I do and then encourage you to become more like yourself, not necessarily copying exactly what I do, but this gives you an idea of how to become who you are and how to organize the space in such a way that you can make your environment successful too. Let me just see what's being typed here. I'm trying to get the husband started on my shed, she shed, since the two little ones get to everything. Can't wait to see your studio. Yeah, first of all, you need a cat. Maybe not one like Peanut Butter. He's a little rambunctious. But a she shed. I love that, Elena. I'm just going to call you Ellen, okay, if you don't mind, because I just don't know how to say your name, and so I'm going to call you Ellen. But that is such a good phrase, a she shed. And my whole entire, I have an open concept place where my great room and my kitchen and everything is kind of all in one space. And so I am able to, I just, you know, I'm the only one who lives here, me and the 3 kittens, and so I don't care if my living room looks like a studio because I'm an artist. And I just own it. And when people come over, they see all my pencils and they see my desk. And I have a nice sitting area where I can entertain company too. And I move the furniture based on what the sun is doing. This time of year, the sun is really bright over there. So I have to shift my whole setup. And I do that based on what works for me. And so, you know, I don't believe in putting yourself in a little bedroom where there's, unless you like to be alone. I like to be out there with where everything's going on. I'm a little bit, I don't know if I'm ADD or something like that, but I am a hyper person and I like a lot of activity. I love it that today there was a huge balloon parade right outside my window, and I was watching all the balloons go by and all the people and the marching bands, and I love the energy. To me, people bring me energy, and so having those people out there brings me a lot of energy. I don't do well living in a forest where it's too quiet. So you're different, and you decide if you want to be in a room where it's quiet and away from everybody, that's fine. If you want to be with everybody, just horn in and own your space. Don't tell them I said so. But, well, actually you can. Blame it on me. And that way you can own your own space. And Ellen is saying that my daughter and I have pizza and paint night, and they're two good little artists. Oh, I'm so glad you do that. That's really important for you to teach kids how important art is and have them see that their mom is an artist, so they see that's a valid occupation and that it's a good way to go, and that it's definitely a way that you can succeed. I know a bunch of artists who are millionaires. It's not about what your profession is, it's about how you do your marketing and how you approach your art that makes you successful or not. Because there are rich artists and there are poor artists, and the difference between the rich artists and the poor artists is what the rich artists do and what the poor artists don't. So we talk a lot about that in my apprenticeship programs and my colleges. More about that later. So today I'm just going to take you on a tour through my studio, and I'm going to start with what's behind me. So this is, these are 3 cupboards that I found, and this is all going to be on a website. At the end I'm going to give you a URL, and you can go to that website. Peanut Butter, get out of the way. He's such a camera hog. You can go to that website and you'll be able to buy these and other things, not from me, I don't sell supplies, but I will give you a company where you can buy them. and that way you can get all this stuff, and usually the links that I give you are all sale prices, and some of it's on Amazon, and if you join Amazon Prime, I am a complete Prime member because it's like $99 a year and you get all free shipping. And that's like, you'd spend that much on shipping in the first month, no doubt. So, plus you get all the free movies and you get free music and stuff like that. So I really like being a Prime member. So we have a link for you to join Prime as well. And you can join. And by the way, on all of these supplies, we get a little bit of a kickback. It's not a lot, but we like for you to click on our links because then it pays us back for giving you this free advice. You know, it's kind of quid pro quo. You know, we do something for you, you do something for us. It doesn't cost you anymore to click on our link, and then you go from our link to the place to buy it, and they give us a little bit of money for it. It's not a lot, but it's just a nice way to say thank you to me for taking the time to teach you about this and not charging you anything. And so we'll be giving you a link to a website where you can buy all this stuff. And so just so know that that's going to happen as I'm talking. So this is cupboards, and I really like it because it fits my artwork. So I'm just going to get up and show you what I mean by that. You see, there's where I keep my photos, and this is a work in progress. I'm beginning to work on that drawing that you've seen of the dogs and the kitten trying to squeeze through the same hole. And so I keep my drawings in there. I keep the photo in there as well. And then I have a lot of pencils up here on the top. And I like to store my pencils in unique containers. I'll just show you one that we haven't put this on our website yet, but we're going to put it on soon. It's a really great carousel, and you can fit maybe 300 or 400 pencils on here, and it has 3 divisions in it. We used to sell them a lot, and then I couldn't find them for a long time, and so we're going to start selling them again. But anyway, and I really like this because then you can classify your pencils by color, so that when you're reaching for your yellows, all the yellows are in the same, all your flesh tones are in the same place, the browns, the greens, and so forth. And then I keep my blenders. Let me just, instead of lifting that, I'm going to lift the camera. So I keep my blenders on the top, and then I keep my backup pencils here, and then I keep the other pencils around the outer edges. And I usually have a carousel for each type of pencil, so my hard leads and my soft leads and all of that. So it's a really good way to organize your pencils. And then I like to pick up little things. You can go, we have a store here in San Diego that's called, it's called Home Goods. I love that store. It's so awesome. This one says dream big. I like to have little sayings around that make me remember that I don't have to live a small life. I can have anything that I want, and I can make my own life, and I can write my own script. I own the script that is my story. And so I am able to do that when I see things around my studio like this. And this is just a little spinning thing, and I keep my drawing pencils in here, and then I keep my markers and my scissors and things like that in there as well. And it makes it nice and handy. It's on my desk, and I just picked that up at Home Goods. I don't know if they still have any, but I like to look at different stores where they have containers. There's actually a store in this town called the Container Store. And then when I travel, I like to pick things up. Like, I went to Downton Abbey, Highclere Castle a couple summers ago, and I've always fancied myself to be a princess or a queen or whatever, you know. I mean, I think I was born to the wrong address because I would do well with servants. And so I like to get souvenirs. So this is a cup that's called that says Her Ladyship. Everything's backward because I'm in the selfie mode, but it says Her Ladyship on here. So I keep one brand of pencils in that particular little thing. And it's just kind of a fun little whimsical thing, but every time I look at that, I remember my trip, and it kind of rewinds all those really cool memories. And then I found another really cool, sometimes you can find things at Target too. This is just a nice little box that I use to keep my pencils on my current project. So I don't have to pick all my pencils each time I'm going to start a new project. I already have the pencils in there. And so that way I don't have to, like I said, sort and organize every single time that I do that. And then here's a sign that I always use at the end of our broadcast, and there will be miracles. I'm probably going to get another one of these. I actually got this when I was in Waco, Texas. I don't know if you watched the show called Fixer Upper. I love that show. I just think they're so fun and so funny, and I love the way she designs stuff. So Alexandra, my assistant, and I took a road trip, and we were in Dallas on a business trip, and so we decided to go to Waco because it wasn't that far. And Jimmy Don makes these signs, and so I bought one. And I love knowing that even like today when I got that hard blow that was difficult to take, I can remember there will be miracles. And so I don't need to be upset or frustrated about that. I just know it's all going to work out. Okay, so then I have another box here, and again I got this at probably the Home Goods. I keep my eraser refills in here. The eraser refills are what I use for this battery eraser, and the battery eraser is on our website. This is what I use. I actually draw with this eraser because you can put in blonde hair and whiskers and all kinds of stuff. I'll be showing you how to use these tools later. But I always buy the box of refills. There's 70 refills in here, and then my battery eraser. And I have to keep my kneaded eraser in here because my cat named Toast is an art supply thief. She's a cat burglar, and she loves kneaded eraser. I moved the cupboard the other day because my Candyman was fixing things from the flood, and there were 6 kneaded erasers under the cupboard. So she steals these, so I have to keep them in a locked box. But I like this because it said she had faith that she could, so she did. You see? And so I'm building my mindset. She had faith that she could, so she did. I'm building my mindset by feeding my mind, even with something as utilitarian as a pencil box. I'm feeding my mind for success. I'm always surrounding myself with things that feed my mind. And on the top it says, collect moments, not things. And so I really need to listen to that because sometimes I work too much and I forget that I need to get out of the studio and go make memories and so forth and so on. That's the trouble when you love your job, sometimes you work too much. Okay, then the next thing I want to show you is I have this is actually a tablet. I'm not crazy about it. It's by Microsoft, but it's a nice little way to keep something on the drawing table in case you need to access the internet or in case you need to have a photo reference. Like, for example, I might pull a photo reference up on this screen because photo references are more accurate when they're digital than if you print them out because the digital colors stay true, and a lot of times it doesn't stay true on the print. So having that laptop over here, this is not a laptop, it's a tablet. I keep calling it a laptop because it looks like one. But having that tablet right there, when I'm drawing, I can just look at my photo reference and I can draw on the side like that with an accurate digital image. And so that's handy to have that. I also have a little tablet that I'm talking to you on tonight. I like it much better than this one. This is a Samsung 7 tablet. It's just like a little mini iPad, except I don't like Apple. So I use that little tablet for broadcasting, and then I use it to put digital photos on, and Facebook and email and all the rest of the stuff that you can use a tablet with. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is that because I'm a professional artist and I'm very successful, I feel like I need fancy tools. I mean, to me, it's as much about how you look as it is about how, you draw. I mean, I feel like art is a way of living. So I like everything in my world to be fancy. Fancy's fancy. So I had an artist custom make this for me because I love wood. And he made it, he even put turquoise in here for me. And he made it out of some of my favorite woods. And it's a clipboard where I can put my artwork, and then I have a pad, and on our website where we have the supplies you'll find these pads, and I just slip it on there because the pad gives you a nice surface for drawing. Your pencil will react differently on a soft surface like this than it would if you were drawing directly on the wood. And so I like to have that. You can also buy tablets at, clipboards at Walmart or whatever, but I'm really into looking good and just having fun with my art supplies. Here's a tablet that I bought that's a little bit longer, and it's got flowers on it, and I don't think we have I'm pretty sure that we don't have the tablets on there yet. I meant to tell you guys where to buy a clipboard. There's cool clipboards. I don't have them on there tonight, but we'll try to get them up really soon. And I bought this when I was in Italy. This is actually Monet's garden, but I bought it when I was in Italy. I wish I could find them here in the States, but I use them to carry my drawings around. And so I keep my drawings in a plastic sleeve like this. This is an archival sleeve so that it won't, most plastic will damage your artwork, and so you don't want to do that. And I use archival paper. We'll talk about paper and pencils in a little bit, but here's a drawing I'm working on of a dog that I saw at the beach who was wearing a hot pink bikini. And so I'm going to put him on a surfboard, and I keep my photo reference inside the same plastic sleeve, so that way I don't have to go searching all over the world every time I want to draw. And so you can see, for an example, I'm working on this drawing of this little kitten. Here's a little girl with her kitten, and I'm working on that drawing, and so I'm keeping that same drawing in my plastic sleeve with the photo reference as well, so that way when I go to draw, everything is in one place. And that's a really good way to stay organized. And then I can fit this inside of my portfolio. You can buy other portfolios that aren't as fancy here in the States. I just wish that, in Europe they really care about art supplies and stuff like that more than they do in the States, and so it's easier to find stuff over there. But I can actually fit this archival sleeve into my carry case, and then if I'm on the airplane, I just fit it in there. If I'm on the airplane, I just pull it out and I can draw on this surface as well. Just pull the pull the tray down, stick this on there, put my little supplies around, and boom, I'm good to go. I actually, when I got commissioned by Scripps Hospital to do 9 pieces for their prestigious birthing center that's kind of like the Ritz, I actually got 2 drawings done on the way to and from New York. I mean, that's all wasted time. I would have just been sitting on an airplane. But because I know how to make my drawing portable, I was able to get work done on an airplane. And so far nobody's killed anybody with a pencil, so I'm able to bring my pencils on board, and that's a really awesome thing. And then I just keep all this stuff over here against the wall, really organized, so that I can find it whenever I need it. And I have another container that's kind of fancy here that is peanut butter. This has horses on it. I bought it because my cousin loves horses, and I love keeping my drawings. I'm trying this several different ways. Here's a drawing of peanut butter that I'm working on, and see if I can get that in there to show you without the light reflecting into it. That's one I'm working in colored pencil on peanut butter. And this is the drawing that you've been seeing for Pencil Drawing College. Of course, it's all backwards because we're on a selfie mode. This is peanut butter. He used to take a nap in the bowl on my dining room table every day. So these are works that are in progress, and I keep them out here because that way it's easy to find, and I don't have to go through my drawers to figure out which drawing I'm working on. I know that my current drawing is always in there, and then I keep up the other drawings in here. And then of course I keep things in here, like I have financial data in my checkbook, and I have color theory workshops that I teach, and watercolor pencil, and so forth and so on. So I fill all these drawers with really cool stuff, so that way I know where things are. I love knowing where things are. And I keep a lot more pencils up here too. And then I keep fun things, like I went to the UK and there's cows all over the place, life-size cows. I went to an event where they actually had 101 cows. It was on Highway 101. this year, life-size cows that artists had painted, and I just think they're funny and goofy, so I got one in London, and that stays up there. And one of my students, Junko, from Japan, came out to a live event. She was in my apprenticeship program for 6 months, and she made us this beautiful origami, and so I keep that up here just to remember her and her thoughtfulness. She bought me the most amazing chocolates. Oh my goodness, they were so delicious. So that's kind of what's behind me. I also have a computer back here, which is a Mac, and it's kind of a paperweight because I don't like Macs. I also have flowers up here. It's really important to me to decorate and make my studio pretty. And then I have a sign that reminds everybody who I am. It says #GirlBoss. And so girls can run the world. And then over here, I want to show you I have a organizing system for my, wait, let's see. There. Okay. It's kind of reflecting a little bit. Let me stand in the way so it won't reflect so much. But I have an organizing system here. Why is it not showing? Let's see. I'm going to try. There we go. An organizing system for keeping my files, the ones that I use the most. I have file cabinets in the other room, but the files that I use the most are in here. And then it has a little drawer to keep things in and so forth. So it's real important to keep your files organized so that you know where things are. And speaking of that, I wanted to share something with you. I'm a right brain person mostly. I'm obviously really left brain too, or I wouldn't be so successful, because every person, hi Junko, you're the one who made my beautiful origami. I hope you saw me showing that off. Junko is from Japan. Glad you joined us. Anyway, so because I'm a right brain person, and obviously I have a strong left brain, or I wouldn't have gotten an MBA in marketing and graduated cum laude, and I had straight A's in school and stuff like that too. So I obviously am bright in the left brain, but my dominant side, it's kind of like you're right-handed or you're left-handed. My dominant side is right brain, and so I try to protect that to keep my world creative, because it sucks energy out of me when I'm doing stuff that I don't enjoy. And so I literally only pay my bills one day a month. Everything is paid on the 10th, and it's all in a stack. It's in a folder. Let's see if my folder right here. There's my folder. And of course, even that has a fancy box. And I tell everybody, if you get your bill to me by the 10th, you'll get paid. If not, you'll be paid the next month, because I only want to suffer one day a month. I don't like doing that stuff. I have a bookkeeper, I have a tax guy. They handle most of it, but I have to get it organized to give it to them. And then most of my bills are paid online automatically, but there are a few that I have to write checks and things like that, or go online and check the bills and make sure it is. So I put that on one day a month so that I won't drain my artistic energy. When you get to the place where you start becoming successful, you can delegate responsibilities to the people who can support you, so that they're doing things in their genius zone and you stay in your genius zone, and that way what you have on your to-do list is things you want to do, and what they have on their to-do list is things they're good at too. And then you're not frustrated and they're not frustrated, and everybody's earning a living, and it all works out really good. So eventually you want to get to that place. I also have a an electric eraser, electric sharpener on my desk, and unfortunately sharpeners just keep going out of business. And we used to sell one at our company. We used to sell supplies. We used to sell a Panasonic battery eraser that I always carried with me, and unfortunately it's been out of business for about 7 years. So I found a new electric one that has one hole in it, and it gets me a nice sharp point, but it's been discontinued. So we're still, I think it's still listed on our website, so I'm going to work to get the new one on there sometime in the really near future. Keep bugging me if I haven't done that. I'm really busy right now, so I might forget. So just post it in there, and I'm Lori Marie, you're really good at asking questions. Just make a mental note that you got to nudge Sandra. She kind of asks questions on behalf of everybody. She asks such good questions, things everybody wants to know. And then I have another sharpener on my desk that also has multiple holes. It's plugged in, so it's kind of hard for me to show it to you. But I like that one because sometimes different companies, which in my opinion is really stupid, they should make all pencils the same diameter, duh. But there are some companies who make their pencils fat or thinner, and so then you have to have a little bit of variation. Then when you're on the road, you can take a battery-operated sharpener. I don't have one right now that I really love, so I'm not recommending one, and we don't have one on our website. But I'm testing a couple. So during this 14 days, I may come up with a solution. If I do, I'll let you know, or ask me. It just always keep nudging me, because sometimes I forget. So you can get these anywhere, these little sharpeners, Just make sure you get one that has oh, that's where my cat is always stealing things, and she stole the bottom off this one. I was trying to figure what that thing was. But anyway, so here's a little handheld sharpener. It's not ideal at all, but sometimes you're in a pinch. You're on an airplane and you don't have your battery sharpener with you or whatever. And I'll show you in a minute what I carry on the airplane too. So then the next thing I want to show you is my lamp. I have one. I'm going to turn the camera around, and I hope it'll point at it. I have what's called a glamour light, and this is from Hollywood. And it makes you look like 10 or 20 years younger, so who wouldn't love that? And that's why I can broadcast at night without looking like I'm 95 years old. And that it's a round circular lamp, and it's designed for video and for production purposes, but I like it for art. I actually turn it on when I'm drawing because it gives you such a bright light that you really can, especially when you're older, you need a lot more light. You need more looms as you age. And so you need really bright lights to work under. So that's one of the lamps. I'm going to turn it around, and hopefully this will show you what it looks like. That's it, and that's on our website. And then we have this lamp too, which I'm going to see if I can lift that up without killing it. It's plugged in too. So there you go. And this is a color corrected light. And so your hand will look like a different color when it's not under there, and it will look correct like daylight when it is under there. And that's foldable, and it's really portable. So I like it because I can throw one in a suitcase or in the back of my SUV when I go to my cousin's house, and that way I can draw on the road, because in hotels and in your friend's house, it's just not lit well enough for you to be able to see that well. And like I said, the older you get, the more looms you need, and so that gives you the looms. Plus, it happens to be an SID light. I used to live in Illinois, and I would get seasonal affective disorder. Have you ever heard of that? It's people who get depressed because there's no sun. I didn't know. Here I'm in therapy and it's not working. It's because I have a physical thing called SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder. If there isn't sun, I wilt. And that's kind of like plants that need to be planted in the sunlight. That this plant thrives in the sunlight, this one thrives in the shade. Well, I'm a sunlight plant, and I need those looms. Lucky for me, I have huge picture windows, 280-degree view of the San Diego Harbor, and tons of sunlight. So I don't really need that lamp for that purpose. But on there, once in a while, there'll be a cloudy day, maybe 2 in a row, and I'll put that on. And then also, I use that light because it's color corrected. So when you're working at night, the light is different than it is during the day. And so that can change the colors that you're laying down for the colored pencil art or color theory work or whatever. And so you need a consistent light that's always the same. And so I use that light all the time on my work. I always have it on so that the light is always the same, and that way I can keep the colors consistent and not, be fixing the colors at night and wake up in the morning and I realize, it doesn't even match. And so you want to have a light that is consistent. That's called a color corrected light. And we have that on our website as well. Okay, now I think we've finished all the things that are closest to me here on the desk. And so now we're going to wander a little bit in my studio, and it's going to get a little bumpy. I'm a video producer and TV and stuff, and I've been nominated for an Emmy, so I hate it when productions are not great. Kind of embarrassing to me. I've just kind of learned to get over it because on Facebook Live, it's not perfect. I'm just lucky that today Facebook Live is working. Sometimes it's not. So I'm going to start carrying you around the studio, and we're just going to hope that it shows well. So this is Mr. Cowboy. Has nothing to do with art, but Mr. Cowboy has candy inside of him, and the kids love this. So when they come over, they ask me how many pieces of candy they can have, and there's candy from Japan that Junko brought me. And so that's kind of fun to just have little traditions with the kids as well. As I said, that's my paperwork. And now we're going to go into my studio, the rest of my studio. So here's my sitting area. Excuse me. And I have this great big huge beautiful yellow couch that's real comfortable down. And this is Jelly. Jelly doesn't come to live broadcast. She doesn't feel that she owes her public anything. You can see she's a little confused right now. But that's Jelly. That's Peanut Butter's sister. And over there is my seating area, so that way I can entertain guests and we can enjoy each other's company. And my kitchen is right over there in case I get hungry or thirsty. I keep forgetting that everything's backwards in here. And then over here I have more pencils behind my chair. See if I can. These are oil pastels that I have in the background. I don't think we have those, but I will be posting those soon. And then more pencil cases and all kinds of little boxes to store my artwork in. And I collect a lot of, I have a lot of like, you know, like this is a Monet cup and that's Seurat and this is Van Gogh. And that's Monet and that's Van Gogh and so forth. I like to collect stuff like that because I mean, why not, right? We're artists. This is a lamp that gives me a nice ambiance when I want to just be calm. And the only ornament that I hung this year, because I have kittens, was my ornament from Downton Abbey. And then this is my printer, which we also have on the website. Huge, really, really matters what kind of printer you use, because if you don't scan it properly, it's difficult for me to see your work, and then I can't critique it. And so we have everybody using the same printer. And then I have more wooden drawers over here, keeping things that I need to file. I have a lot of artwork in here, and a lot of my paper is stored in here as well. And I like to collect cupboards that are just the right size for my paperwork. And then I have art supplies in this cupboard. Let's see if I can, there we go. Art supplies in that cupboard. And then I have a cupboard that looks like this that is called a flat file. And you can store your artwork in a place like this. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. There we go. So you can see, store my tablets in there. And then I have another flat file over here as well. This one stores a lot of my other drawing supplies. It's good to have a flat file in case you have big pieces of art that you need to store. And then I like to buy handmade things. This is that carousel that we're going to start selling again. And see, I'm trying to see if you can see it or not. And then this is a little wheel with dogs on it that are hand painted by an artist. And I like to support the arts because I like to buy things. Oh, I did do one other ornament here. The cow has a bell on his head. And so I do like to do things that support other artists because I think I'd rather give my money to them than to Macy's. No offense, Macy's. So then I have this ginormous computer that is connected to my 50-inch television screen, and that's where I work, and I sit in this chair. I'm the ultimate cat lady because I bought a chair that's a chair and a half, so it's big enough for me and the 3 cats. And then you can see my studio is right behind my chair. So it's all kind of in a condensed spot. And then right outside here is my beautiful view of the San Diego Bay. And you can't really see it tonight because I've got the lights on in here, but there you go. So that kind of gives you an idea of the space that I'm working in and sort of the way to organize it. And so I'm going to go ahead and take questions about that right now. Go ahead and type in questions, and I'm going to grab some pencils and some paper and talk about that for just a minute too. So when I'm drawing, let's see, Shannon has a question. Was that a pencil holder by the printer with the end of pencils showing their colors? Yes. I have pencil holders all over the place. This is just one room. There's a whole nother room in there, another studio with more pencils, gobs and gobs of pencils. You can never have too many pencils, Shannon. And then I just like to collect containers that hold them really well, and that's why I'm so excited about this carousel. I used to have that before the fire burned my home and business, and then I lost all those carousels and I couldn't find them again. And the carousel is not on our website just yet, Shannon, but we're going to try to get it for you really soon. And so so stay tuned for that. I just found the carousel myself, so I'm not sure if I can order them in quantities to get them for you or not. And so I'm still investigating that for you, okay? I meant the rack. I don't really have a rack full of pencils. I have just pencil carousels. So if you thought that was a pencil holder, I'm sorry that I misunderstood you. No, I don't have a rack. I like it better in a pencil holder because then I can see which pencils, and I don't really like having to there's a carousel where you stick every pencil in one hole. That's not me. My new dishwasher is kind of a pain in the neck because you have to put every single fork and spoon into one slot. And I just grab a whole, bunch of silverware and throw it in a silverware container, and that's how I am with pencils. I just want to be able to grab them and put them in there. So I'm not a big fan of the carousels that have just one hole because that's a little too organized for me. But, we're all a little different in what we like. And so, buy what works for you. Buy something that makes you feel good, that makes you think positive, that, I have little sayings all over my house, of really positive thing. In fact, the tablet that I'm broadcasting on right now is actually being propped up on a book called, I think it's called Think Better, Live Better. It's by Joel Osteen. And he's all about positive thinking and programming your brain with what you want instead of what you don't want. And I read books like that all the time. I read Guideposts every morning because it's about miracles. And I believe that if I watch other miracles happen to other people in their life, then I'm going to believe that it's going to happen for me. And then I also read Joel Osteen, and that book that I just mentioned, and those are all listed on the website too, all the books that I read, that what I do to program my brain for success. Because your success all starts here, literally. If you don't think properly, you're not going to get, what you think comes out of your mouth, and your mouth creates. The world was created with words. God said, let there be light, and there was light. So you have to be careful the way you choose your words, and you need to be sure that you're thinking correctly so the right words will come out of your mouth, and that, will attract the success that you're looking for. So I surround myself with all this positive stuff. We'll be talking about my routine for building a mindset a little bit in another session too in a little bit. But just know that everything that's around me is all based on specific choices. It's not just random stuff. I chose to have these clothes, this hat, these glasses, these mismatched earrings. You know, the things that are on my desk have been chosen. The kittens were chosen, and I rescued them. I rescued Peanut Butter and Jelly just because I could see that they were snuggling and we couldn't be separated. And then Toast was so beautiful. I brought her home too. And she doesn't know that she's not related, so we haven't told her. So anyway, so that's kind of the overview of what my studio looks like. And then I'm on a table that I bought at a really cool store. And I love this table because it can either be, right now I've got it out so it's 6 foot long by 4 foot wide. But I can also fold it up so it's only 3 foot long by 4 foot wide. And I can lower it to make it a coffee table, or I can raise it up to be a studio table, or I can raise it further to be a dining table. So it's really versatile. And when you're in a small space, which I am, this is pretty small, then I have to make furniture, you know, have multiple purposes. I mean, even the little place where I keep my drink is a multiple purpose thing as well. When you pull these out, those are actually TV trays. And so even though it's a nice little side table, it's also got TV trays in it. So I like to have furniture with multiple purposes, especially if you're in a space where it's limited, you know, and you have to keep it a little bit small. And so that's important too. And then I have pictures of my family. There's pictures of my family over there to remind me, you know, of things. And I have a picture on my TV that says, "Take care of yourself. It's the only place you have to live." Because I have a tendency to work too hard, and I get into the right brain and I forget that I need food and water and sleep and all that kind of stuff because I'm so engrossed in what I'm doing that I can easily forget. So it's good to have little reminders like that so that you're sure to take care of yourself and make sure that you make it so that your body will last. And I just went through a reboot on my body last year, and that really helped a lot. Love that saying, Lori says. Yeah, I agree. It's a really cool thing. It actually came with something that I bought, and I just thought, wow, this needs to be on my TV because I need to look at this every day and remember to take care of my body. It's the only place I have to live. You only get one, so you got to take care of yourself. It's important. It's important for you not to be looking at a TV for too long, get up and walk around. It's important for your limbs to get up and walk around every few minutes. I have a cat for that. Peanut Butter needs a massage just about every hour on the hour, so he's kind of my wake-up call when I need to stop what I'm doing. And he comes over and he's trying to get a massage. Let's see where he went. Hope he's not in trouble. No, he must have disappeared. Okay, just want to make sure he wasn't creating problems. He kind of likes to kill something every day. That's just sort of his MO. Okay, so that's it. Now, the graphite pencils that we have on my website, we have several degrees of hardness. And I'm going to show you, when you sign up for Pencil Drawing College, you actually get this for free. And it's basically a scale that talks about the different pencils. And I designed it so that you can actually lay this on your drawing. Like you can lay the 5B right next to the drawing and you can see whether it matches, if it matches the value that you're supposed to be copying in that particular photo, then you pick up your 5B pencil. If you put it up to the photo that you're copying and it looks like it matches the value of the B pencil, then you pick up the B pencil. So then you know which pencil to use each time you're drawing. And this is called Sandra's value scale. And it ranges, my value scale ranges from the 2H to the F, the HB, the B, the 2B, and all the way up to the 9B. And those are the pencils that I use, and it really matters the brand. So I actually, we don't have that for sale right now, Ellen. We just give it away for free when you sign up for Pencil Drawing College. And we'll talk more about that later. Excuse me. And so basically, I use pencils that are from Europe. I love American. I like to buy American products, but the graphite is different in Europe. And so I use European pencils because the performance of the graphite really matters. It's really, you can't get quite as dark with the American graphite, and sometimes you need to go really dark, like for this hat or my jumper, you know, you would need to go really dark, and maybe you need to go really light for the highlight in the rose from the light that's shining on me, or the highlight in the diamond earring. And so it's important for you to have the full range of values. And in graphite, Pencil Drawing College is all about graphite, so that's why I'm not answering colored pencil questions, because this isn't Colored Pencil College, but this is Pencil Drawing College, and it's just black and white. And so the cool thing about working in black and white is that you only have 12 pencils to choose from. When you're in colored pencil, there's all those pencils in the carousel. Where do you start? Whereas this one, you just hold the value scale up to your photo that you're working from, and you know which pencil to pick up. And so if you don't have the full range of values, if you just use one pencil, let's just say you get attached to the 2B, and you try to make the 2B dark enough, it won't go dark enough. It's not a dark enough graphite. You need the 9B to go to the darkest. And you try to get the 2B to go light, it won't go as light as an F. And so you really need to learn how to use the different pencils for different things. Also, the F will stay sharper, so you want to use that when you're doing things like hair and fur and stuff like that. And then the 9 is softer, so you'll use that when in the dark areas, and then crisp up the edges with the harder leads. And in my videos at Pencil Drawing College, the number of the pencil that I'm using pops up on the screen, so you never have to guess what I'm doing. In other words, in your workbook, you'll have the drawing, the step-by-step of a dog, and let's say that you're drawing a golden retriever, and I'll be drawing the golden retriever on screen, and all of a sudden I'll say, now I'm going to switch to an F because I want to do the whiskers, and the F is really hard, and so it will stay sharp, and I can get a nice whisker line with that. And I tell you why I'm using what I'm using, and what I am using pops up on the screen. And then if you're a reading learner, we also have a workbook so that you can actually see the drawing in the workbook, and the step-by-step tells you which pencils I'm using. If you've gone to pencildrawingcollege.com and you signed up for the free workshop, you're actually going to get a sample workbook for free, and you're going to get a sample video for free that's directly pulled out of Pencil Drawing College, so you can kind of see, you know, how the workbooks work and how the videos work and stuff like that. So you can kind of get a sneak peek inside Colored Pencil College, and it teaches you some really good lessons about drawing fur, which happens to be a golden retriever puppy. And so anyway, and then you have a whole book, a whole workshop on workshop number 5 from Pencil Drawing College on how to draw dogs with short hair. And so it's a really huge advantage for you to just go over there and grab that for free. It's at pencildrawingcollege.com. And I know some of you in Sandyland have not received an email from us yet. We've been going crazy because it's the holidays, and so everybody's kind of dropping balls here and there. It's like we're all making mistakes because we're trying to have a good time, trying to enjoy our families, and we don't really want to work right now. So we forgot to send out the email that invited everybody on our list to this workshop, but luckily they're recorded, so you'll get to watch it later. So anyway, so if you haven't gotten an email that tells you about pencildrawingcollege.com, pencildrawingcollege.com, or you are in Sandyland and you just didn't get the link, we'll put that I'll put it in the comments after I finish with this broadcast, and then you can click on that link and go get a free workshop. It is a complete workshop out of Pencil Drawing College that you get for free. And we do that because we want you to know what Pencil Drawing College is like. We don't want anybody in there who doesn't like the way that we do things. And so we're just as picky about who we have in there as you are about picky about which courses you take. So anyway, so that's the kind of the overview for tonight. You're going to actually see graphite pencils that I recommend and a link to buy them. It'll be the same range of values that I just talked about today. You're going to see the paper, and I need to mention the paper. There's two different kinds of paper, and right now we don't have the practice paper on there. Again, we're just, it went out of, companies in art world, companies going out of business all the time, and they're constantly changing their products. And so we don't have the performance tablet on there tonight, but I promise you I will find it and we'll get it on there in the next couple of days. And just keep bugging me. Say, did you get the performance drawing tablet on there for me, Sandra? Write it down right now so you can bug me again tomorrow night. And just keep bugging me till I get it done. Because I have a long list of things to do and I might forget. But we do have the performance drawing tablet, which is the paper that I use. Now, you don't need to use that paper when you're practicing. It's expensive and it's wonderful. I actually never use anything except that paper because I really love the soft plate for finish on it. And I just get a much smoother texture when I use that Bristol board. And so it's not the fact that it's Bristol board, because there's Bristol board out there that doesn't work like that. And it's not the fact that it's plate, because it has to be a certain brand of plate. So I was the editor for Art Materials Today, and I also had my own column in Michael's Arts and Crafts magazine. And it was my job to test all the materials and to find out which papers work best, and which pencils should you use with which papers, and which paints, and which brushes, and which tablets and all that stuff. I tested this stuff for years. That's why I know so much about art supplies. I know way more, probably more than all the manufacturers, because they only know their own art supplies. I know everybody's stuff. And so I have done the testing for you, so you don't have to spend all this money trying to figure out what to use and getting these horrible results, and it's not your fault because you're just using the wrong paper or you're using the wrong pencils. It's not because you're not good enough or whatever, it's because you don't have the right materials, because it really matters what you use. And so I picked out a fabulous paper for you. The practice tablet won't be there until at least tomorrow or maybe the next day. But the performance paper is there, and all the descriptions are in there. So this is a question and answer session every day at 6 p.m. Every day I'm going to be in here answering questions. And so you just come back with your questions. If you go to the website and you don't find what you're looking for, you have questions about what we have on there, just post it. I'm going to put up a little Q&A. I'll put up a saying every day, a really cool saying that helps you think more positive. And then I'll put your Q&A here. And so then you can go in there and put your questions in there. And I won't necessarily go in there and answer them until this happens. But then you'll know they're in one spot, so you can go back in case you forget what you were going to ask. Or you can just have a little notebook where you start writing down questions, and you can ask questions in here. So Lori is saying she loves dogs and cats. Yes, and that's what we're using at Pencil Drawing College, because it's less threatening to draw a dog or draw a cat. My hair is like the hair of a Yorkie. And I could teach you by drawing my face, but you would be intimidated by drawing this texture just because you feel like you have to get a likeness, and you get all left-brained and tangled up. But if you're drawing a Yorkie and you're using the exact same stroke and you learn that on a Yorkie, then when you come to draw me, you know how to do Yorkie hair. And so this is the same stroke that you would use on a long-haired Yorkie. And so we teach you all the pencil drawing techniques with cats and dogs, just because who doesn't love cats and dogs? And the whole time you're drawing, you're not so threatened. And then later on, maybe later this year, we'll do a portrait drawing college. I'm not sure exactly what our schedule entails, but we're not planning to offer it right now, but if there's a big demand, maybe we will. But right now we're going to learn all the pencil drawing techniques with cats and dogs, those lessons about how to draw cats and dogs. Because all those textures, there's so many different textures in dog's fur. I mean, there's little gray-haired ladies who have permanents still that have poodle fur on their head, you know, and there's people like me that have Yorkie fur on their head, and you know, all these things that you're learning are the kinds of things you're going to need if you decide you want to draw portraits later. And drawing eyes and things like that is very similar. The strokes we're going to use gradation and hatching. I'm going to teach you a whole bunch of different ways to create different kinds of textures. And Ellen is asking what pencil to use to sketch an outline, an HB or the B. It depends on the brand of pencil, you know, and it depends on what paper you're using. It's kind of like saying, what spice would I use on eggs? Well, are you making a Spanish omelet? Are you making a Mexican dish with hot sauce on it? You know, it depends. You use what the brand of pencil and the brand of paper, because if the paper has a lot of texture, then you have to use a harder lead. And if the paper doesn't have much texture, you have to use a softer lead. And so you have to learn, there isn't a formula, like always use this pencil, always use this paper. It depends on the recipe that you're following and what the effect is that you want to achieve for that. And so there isn't, you know, a one-size-fits-all. You can't say, always use cinnamon when you cook. You know, yeah, that works if it's cinnamon rolls. Doesn't work so good with eggs or ground beef or chicken. So it's just like with spices in cooking, you use a different pan, you use different spices, you use different amounts of cooking time. It's the same with drawing. There isn't a one-size-fits-all. It's like every time I'm teaching you something different, I'm saying you're using this pencil and here's why. And you choose this pencil this time with this paper and here's why. And so I would love to be able to just give you an answer, always use an F or always use an H or always use a B, but it just depends. So there isn't a blanket answer. But thanks for asking that question. The papers that I like are going to be on the website, that we're sending you to. There's going to be a performance tablet, and right now the practice tablet isn't there. I still have to find one. And so, because the one I liked was discontinued. And so we're going to have that in the next couple days. The paper that you will need to use for performance is different from the paper that you will need to use for practice. And the one that is a practice tablet, I like it because it has a hard binding on it. And so when you open it up, it's almost like you have a drawing board in your lap. And it's really difficult to get your paper. I forgot. I need to talk about the grid kit. How am I going to do that? Let's see. I'm pretty sure I have one in there. So we use a grid system, and you're going to learn all about the grid system, not in this free workshop, but in the drawing workshop. Pencil Drawing College will be teaching you the grid system that the old masters use. And in order to do that, we use a grid kit. And the acetate that has the grid on it is put over your photo, and the grid that you need to divide your paper into gridded lines, it goes underneath your paper. And there are very few papers out there where you can see the grid lines through the paper. Usually if the paper is thin enough that you can see the grid lines, then you've got a problem because it's going to pill when you erase it. And so I have found a tablet that's perfect. It's thin enough that you can see the grid, but it doesn't pill. And so, like I said, I tested thousands of art supplies over the years, and I found this one performance tablet, one practice tablet that works really well. And like I said, they discontinued it. That happens all the time in the art world. And so I'm working on getting a new one for you and testing it so that you don't have to waste money on the wrong tablet. But right now there is a performance tablet inside there, and I tend not to tell you a brand or describe it because I've done that before. Like a long, long time ago, I had a tablet that I really liked that was called Vellum Bristol 2-ply. And so I was telling everybody to go buy this Vellum Bristol 2-ply tablet, showing him the cover of the tablet. And everybody came back to the drawing college and was saying, we can't find it anywhere. Well, that company had changed the cover of the tablet, and instead of calling it vellum, they were now calling it a kid finish. And instead of calling it plate, they were calling it smooth. And then, so I started telling people to look for that. And the next year, people came back and said they couldn't find it. Well, they had changed it to call it plate finish. And they had changed the color again. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to tell you, go buy the tablet that I'm recommending. Just go get it. You know, I have no vested interest in it. They pay us a little bit, you know, for recommending it. But I chose that because that's what I use. And I'm using it because the one I used to like has been discontinued. And I did a bunch of research and figured out the next best one to use. And I'm always doing research to keep up, like the pencil sharpener. I finally found, it took me 2 years to find a pencil sharpener. And I finally found one, and now that's discontinued. So this happens all the time, but I keep on top of it, and that's why we have this supply page where we post the latest. And sometimes when I recommend something, usually everybody buys it, and everybody buys it at once, and so a lot of times they sell out. And so then you go back, and it's not there because I told people to buy it, and so many people bought it. The company doesn't have them anymore. And so, you know, art supplies are a little tricky. They're one of the reasons we got out of that business is it's just tough. The companies constantly change the names of stuff. They change the labels on stuff, and a lot of people in the art world don't really know much about art supplies. I sat on my deck here in San Diego with the vice president of Prismacolor, and he asked me which pencils in his set were the primary colors. Primary? That's red, yellow, and blue. Everyone knows this, but not the vice president of Prismacolor. You know, and that's just so common. They're business people and they don't understand art. And so they label things weird, and, you know, it's just not a well-managed business. It's kind of like women's clothing. With a man's shirt, if you get a 1533, I think I'm saying that right. Anyway, they label men's shirts the same. So if a man tells you this is his size and you buy that shirt, it's going to fit him. But in the women's clothing, if you go to Chico's, you might be a size 1. You go to Walmart, you might be a size 14. You go to Nordstrom, you might be a size 6. You know, it's like crazy. It's just not regulated. Women's clothing is not regulated, even in the same store. Sometimes I can wear a 10 in this, or a small in that, and a medium in this. You know, it's just crazy. So that's really the way the art world is, and that's why I don't give you a specific brand name or a specific title of it. I just put it on the website and say, buy this. This is the one that I use. This is the best one. And this just got discontinued, so I replaced it with this, and this is going to work great. And if you want to get good results, you've got to use what the master's using. So it really helps to have the master be telling you what to buy so you can save time and money and the frustrating results of getting the wrong, you know, results. And it really isn't your fault. You're just using the wrong paper or the wrong pencils or the wrong eraser. And so I go to a lot of trouble to make sure that my students are well cared for and that we're constantly updating our information and constantly putting our, you know, secret sauce behind a wall where they can go and get that and learn more about how to buy the right supplies. Okay, so I'm going to just scroll through this, the comments here, and see if there's any other comments. I know it's been a while. Okay. Practice tablet, what is that? Ellen, I don't have the practice tablet up right now because it's been discontinued. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. So I'm still searching for a good practice tablet where you can see the grid kit through it, and keep bugging me the next 2 days. Like, I hope to find that in the next 2 days, and if I haven't, just keep asking until I tell you that it's on the website and you can go buy it. Right now the practice tablet is there and it should be labeled practice tablet. I mean, not practice, performance tablet. It's the only paper that I use. It should say plate on it too. And it's the only paper. There's a lot of plate paper out there, so don't think that going and finding different plate paper is going to be the right thing. Okay, Lori says, do you use a graphite drawing as a base to put the CPs over it? No, graphite is a lubricant, and so it will resist something as waxy as colored pencils, and so they do not mix well, and it tends to make things really muddy. There is one technique in Colored Pencil College that we teach about that, but this is not Colored Pencil College, so we're just talking about graphite. So that's the answer to that. Just a reminder that these are all questions about graphite, not colored pencil. We do have a Colored Pencil College. It's sold out right now, so you can't get in. But let's see. We get more people that want cats drawn than dogs. Yeah, I know there's kind of a contest on our website. I have a poll going to see, do you want to draw dogs? Do you want to draw cats? You know, and all the other things that you're struggling with. I really want you to post, if it's not in the list, post to me what you're struggling with. In graphite pencils, please don't ask colored pencil questions because this is in the Colored Pencil College. This is pencil drawing with graphite. There's kind of this poll at the top. Sometimes the dogs are winning, sometimes the cats are winning. It's pretty close, neck and neck. I love both. I love dogs and cats. I would have a dog, except I don't have the right lifestyle. I have to travel too much, and I do have a cat sitter, but let's see what else. Yeah, I think I've answered all the questions. Okay, so after this is over, I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to look through all your comments here. I love it when you comment while I'm talking because it feels like we're dialoguing and it feels like you guys are, you know, engaged in what I'm doing. I'm not just talking into the wind. I like to be able to be sure that I'm talking to people and that I'm making a difference for you, that I'm creating a better knowledge of how you can succeed. And so I really like to get that feedback from you, and so it's really helpful to me to get the feedback while we're doing this. So questions are great. Just remember, this is not colored pencil, this is graphite. Okay, Lori says, I haven't used graphite in eons, so it'll be a new thing for me all over again. Exciting. Yeah, I actually love graphite. I think I like graphite better than colored pencil. I mean, it's a hard choice because I love both of them. I just love to draw. But the graphite, you only have 12 values to deal with, so it's really uncomplicated. And it's really easy to take with you because you only have 12 pencils. And it's super simple comparatively speaking. Oh, there's one other thing I need to show you. I have to hide this because Toast steals it. So I'm trying to remember where I put it. Toast steals my goat brush on a regular basis. I'll just quickly see if I put it in here. I just had to change my hiding place for my brush recently. Oh, I'll grab one out of here. That's another thing I didn't show you is that I have cupboards right here with backup for my pencils. So like here's my cupboard and you can see, let's see here. Why is this weird? I don't know. I can't see. So I have pencils in here. And those are my backup pencils. And I have cupboards full of supplies. Okay, so I'm going to show you the goat brush. You really need one of these because the goat brush will keep the crumbs off your paper. And this is really soft, and it is an animal. I had somebody from the South call me up and said, my brush smells like a goat. And I said, well, honey, it is a goat. And she says, well, if I'd known that, I would have backed it up to Bessie. I would have backed Bessie up and just used her tail. And my cat loves the smell. That's why she steals it off of my table every time You know, cats really love, I have alpaca gloves and an alpaca teddy bear, and the cats just tear into it because they love the smell of the other animals. But anyway, this goat brush is really good for keeping the crumbs off your paper, and it doesn't leave a residue, and it fits nicely in your little case when you want to carry it with you on the road. So I really like that too. Oh, and I was going to show you how I travel. So let me see. Maybe I'll show you that tomorrow, because that way I don't have to go stop the camera and go out and find my stuff. I'll show you how I travel with art tomorrow. But anyway, the goat brush is a really handy tool. You definitely need to pick one of those up. And if you're on a budget, basically what you want to do is get the set of pencils, 12 different colored pencil, 12 different colors of graphite, 12 different degrees. They're called degrees of graphite. You need to get the practice drawing tablet, which isn't on there. I'm sorry, they discontinued it, so I'm still trying to find the replacement for it. You need to get the goat brush, you need to get the sharpener, and the sharpener may have been discontinued too. I heard rumor that it had been, so if that's sold out, then just bug me until I put up a new sharpener. And then I like to have the archival sleeves just to keep my artwork in that, so you might want to pick some of that up too. And then the light for having that in your studio, and it's, let's see what else. If you like the glamour light, that's kind of nice because it gives a wide berth of light around you. I like it for drawing. And I think that would suffice. There, I kind of have it like classified as basic drawing supplies, so you need those for sure. And then it says indulge me drawing supplies. So then if you want to spend a little bit more, have a little more to spend, you can buy that stuff too. And then when you scroll way down to the bottom, I also have Sandra's, the stuff that's in Sandra's studio. So these are in there, and the lights and all those different kinds of things. And like I said, if you have questions, we can, answer those tomorrow night here on Facebook, because we're going to be here every night. I'm going to be here every night on at 6 o'clock. Every night except Sunday. Sunday is my day of rest. God rested on Sunday, so I do too. And so every day between now and January 11th, I'm going to be here at 6 p.m. So save up your questions, and I'll be doing some more demos and talking more about how to create the success life that an artist lives, and what rich artists do that poor artists don't, and kind of guiding you. So let me just check the questions, and then we'll see. My parrot preened my brush to death. Yes, they do. The animals, my Toast is stealing my art supplies all the time. She just stole the bottom off of my sharpener, and she loves to steal things. She's a real cat burglar. So I kind of have to put my stuff in a drawer in order to keep her away from things. So yeah. But they do like the stuff that has that animal flavor on it. Oh, there's one other thing I need to mention too, is the kneaded eraser. And the kneaded eraser is what I use when I am, and I would highly recommend getting the battery eraser that we have on there too, because that's just an essential tool. But the kneaded eraser, you can clean it by pulling it apart like this, and it comes in a little square. And then I use this kneaded eraser when I want to get want to just lift a value. Like, let's say that my value was an 8B, and I wanted it to be a 4B. Well, I can just push down on that, section that's dark, and it'll lighten it up to the 4B level. And so it's a really good way to lift your values. And also, if you want just a soft change, you can use the kneaded eraser. You're going to be seeing me demonstrate with this as well. And so we'll be talking more about that. But you need both the kneaded eraser and the battery eraser, and be sure to get the refills. There's a box of 70 white refills, and you need those as well. Okay. So I think Lori asked about supplies yesterday. Lori Marie asked about supplies yesterday, and we hadn't talked about it yet, but I know you're on vacation, Lori, and if you have everything from Colored Pencil College, you probably have all the tools you need. The only difference is the paper, and like I said, they discontinued it, so I have to go shopping for you online tonight and then try to find the paper and test it for you to make sure that the practice paper is good enough for you to draw on. It really matters what paper you draw on, really, really matters, because you're just not going to get the right results if you use the wrong paper. So I'm going to be, just keep nudging me to be sure to put that practice tablet on there. Already the performance tablet is on there, but it's a little pricey for practicing. I wouldn't practice with it. I would use it more for performance. And then I'm going to find you a practice tablet really soon for drawing. Okay, let's see what else it says here. Lori and Lori are talking to each other. They recognize each other from the last time that we did some free lessons. Okay, that sounds great. All right, so if there's no other questions about supplies, I'm going to bid you adieu for this evening and remind you that tomorrow night we're going to be back again at 6 o'clock, going to be teaching you more about how to be successful as an artist and more about drawing techniques and all that kind of stuff too, and little tiny excerpts from Pencil Drawing College. But for now, you can get a full-blown workshop from Pencil Drawing College if you go to pencildrawingcollege.com, and that you can watch the video that's directly from my workshop, and you can also download the workbook that's directly workshop number 5, teaches you step by step how to draw a dog's eye, a chihuahua, and how to do the nose, how to do the mouth, and all of that stuff. So it'll be really helpful to you. I do have some kneaded erasers that are at least, let's see, 12 years old. Oh my gosh, go buy a new one, for crying out loud, Lori. They're like $1.57. They don't last. They wear out over time. So I probably get a new one every 2 or 3 months, because over time they kind of get hardened and so forth, and they're really hard to work with. So you might want to buy a few, like 6 or 7 of them. They're $1.57 or maybe $2. They're really cheap, so you definitely want to get some more. Shannon's having computer issues. Okay, Shannon, thank you for asking that, because it's time for me to give you the URL. Still in wrappers, Lori. Well, they probably have rotted by now, but maybe they'll work. You never know. It's kind of like elastic. Elastic, you can leave it in the closet, not even wear something, and the elastic will rot. So anyway, all right. So I need to give you the URL where you can buy the art supplies, and I will post it in this thread as well. And so here we go. It's www.Sandra, Sandra's with an S, so that's SANDRAS, favoritestuff.com, sandrasfavoritestuff.com. Okay? And so go to sandrasfavoritestuff.com and you can find almost everything that I've been talking about today. And like I said, there's a few things that are sold out, because whenever I recommend something, everyone buys it and then it gets sold out. So just alert me to that. Keep asking questions about it. I don't necessarily check in there during the day, because I'm really busy right now with holidaying with my family and just having a vacation. And then also I'm working really, really hard on Pencil Drawing College and the Atelier program, which we're going to be launching in mid-January. We're going to open up enrollment in Pencil Drawing College. We have some spots that opened, and so we're going to open up Pencil Drawing College in mid-January. And like I said, we only open like maybe once a year, if at all. And so that's going to be coming up soon. So I'm really busy over here working like crazy. So I won't necessarily be in your Facebook page checking. Sometimes I get bored and I just go in there because I'm bored. But for sure I'll be here tomorrow night at 6. So write your questions down and ask them. And then we will answer them at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And I love it that you joined us and that you were able to be here live. It's always fun when I'm not just talking into a tablet. I'm actually talking to humans. It feels more exciting and energetic when I get to, sometimes I create videos and I'm just talking to a camera, and that's okay, but it's just fun to have you here live. And so anyway, it's exciting. So I will see you tomorrow night, and I'm going to end with my usual message, is that it's really worth it in life to try to be your best and go for the gold. And remember, got my sign backwards, there will be miracles. There will be miracles. I'll see you tomorrow night.